Welcome back. A live look at the podium where White House Press Secretary Karoline Leavitt takes questions from reporters on all the headlines coming out of Washington. CBS News White House reporter Olivia Rinaldi is here now to give us a look into that room, and she joins us. Olivia, what has stood out to you so far?
Well, Mugo, a couple of things. Quite newsy briefing there. I do want to hit, first of all, there were a lot of questions about those trade negotiations with China. She did not give a date about when Trump is expected to talk with the Chinese leader Xi Jinping. We know that a call is supposed to happen sometime this week. Likely, that is what Karoline Leavitt said yesterday. But I do want to note she did confirm that the U.S. Trade Representative's office sent out a letter to countries asking them to really submit their best offers to the United States, noting that there's only 36 days to go until those reciprocal tariffs that Trump had put a pause on are set to go back into effect. So the question was to her, where does that stand? What do those negotiations look like? Take a listen to what Karoline Leavitt, the press secretary, had to say in the briefing just now about this.
USTR sent this letter to all of our trading partners just to give them a friendly reminder that the deadline is coming up. And they are in talks. Ambassador Greer, Secretary Bessent, Secretary Lutnick are in talks with many of our key trading partners around the globe. As you know, Brian, I know the Wall Street Journal has covered this quite heavily. And they continue to be engaged in those discussions. And this letter was simply to remind these countries that the deadline is approaching and the president expects good deals. And we are on track for that, I will emphasize.
On the trade side, though, when the deal with the United Kingdom, there was this idea of a reprieve on the auto tariffs. Is the president looking to do another similar deal on the sector-by-sector reduction in tariffs, or is this more going to be deals related to the reciprocal tariffs that were announced months ago?
Well, as I've said previously from the podium, and the president has discussed as well, each country has unique advantages, unique challenges to it based on their markets and what they export to us and what we export to them. And so that's why the president smartly advised his trade team to engage in tailor-made deal-making. And we saw that with the United Kingdom, and we will see that with other countries as well.
Now, Karoline Leavitt also said that they see deals moving in the right direction. She went on to note that the U.S. Trade Representative Jamieson Greer is in Paris right now having conversations about those economic deals with U.S. allies and partners. Switching gears a little bit here, she was also asked about that deal with Iran. And Mugo, you and I have been talking about this. We know that the U.S. had sent a proposal to Iran over the weekend. It was a new, updated, detailed proposal based on 5 rounds of conversations between the U.S. and Iran. And she was asked, Karoline Leavitt was asked, whether or not the president agrees with some of the reporting out there about allowing Iran to have low levels of uranium enrichment, and whether that squares with what he said yesterday about a red line being no enrichment with Iran. Take a listen to what Karoline Leavitt said from the podium today about that proposal and that ongoing deal.
Iran, the president said that the U.S. would not allow for any uranium enrichment, but the proposal offered to the Iranians reportedly allows for low levels of enrichment. Can you explain that discrepancy?
I'm not going to comment on alleged details of the report. We're not going to negotiate through the media out of respect for these ongoing discussions and negotiations that Special Envoy Witkoff is leading. The president made his position very clear on Truth Social last night. In fact, it couldn't be any more clear, and I would reiterate that's his position. Special Envoy Witkoff sent a very detailed and acceptable proposal to the Iranian regime that the president hopes they will accept, and if not, they will face grave consequences, as the president himself has reiterated.
Now, the White House has previously said that any enrichment is a red line. That has been in line with what we'd seen Secretary Rubio say as well. But the question is, where do these talks go if Iran is not allowed to have enrichment? They have said previously that they should be allowed to do it and that they do it for peaceful reasons. This White House says that there should be no enrichment, and because of that, they would allow them to lift sanctions. The U.S. would lift sanctions and allow them back on the global economy. So a lot of questions still about what goes on with that Iran deal.
Okay, Olivia Rinaldi, thank you so much for walking us through some of what we've heard at that press briefing so far. We really appreciate your time today.